We're up to page 198. We're finishing up the laws of Shnayim Mikra Targum. And we're up to Halacha 28. Once a person begins reading the parasha, he should refrain from talking. Don't make an interruption. Okay. There's also Kabbalistic reasons for this. It is permitted to talk between parashiyot, but one should try to make not to make any interruption at all. Okay, so let's say if you have to talk, better to talk in between parashiyot, which means end of paragraphs. There's like a samech at the end to show that's the end of that one parasha. Parasha just means like a discussion, like one unit. Within one parasha, you can have multiple parashiyot. Even a person who reads small portion of the parasha each day throughout the week, let's say you read Rishon on Sunday and Sheni on Monday, you should not interrupt until he's finished reading that portion that he intended to read. 29. One who's thirsty in the middle of Shnayim Mikra Targum, he may recite a bracha on a drink. 30. It is permitted to interrupt for any mitzvah purpose when one is reading Shnayim Mikra. Therefore, let's say you're reading Shnayim Mikra, you hear Kaddish, Kedusha, Amen to a bracha, or give shiur. The rabbi is in the middle of reading Shnayim Mikra Targum, and they say, "Oh, Rabbi, can you give a shiur now?" Oh, okay, no problem. And he interrupts in the middle of Shnayim Mikra Targum. 31. It is most preferred to read each pasuk Hebrew twice, and then Targum. Right? Some people, they like to do whole parasha Hebrew, and then read Targum afterwards. He says that another opinion is that you could read the entire parasha twice and read Targum afterwards, but preferably, according to Kabbalah, you have to read twice, and then Targum, twice, Targum, twice, Targum. That's the proper way. Okay? Fine. 32. It is not enough to just read the words. You have to also verbalize. Right? The Masechet Eruvin says, Chaim hem lemotzeehem. Not the ones who find them, motzi'ehem, the ones who bring out the words. It's Torah is life for those who speak out the words. 33. One does not have to lower his tone when reading the Parashat Tochacha. Let's say you're reading the curses for the person who doesn't keep the Torah. You don't have to lower your voice. You can read it like regular, like any part of the Torah. 34. One may recite Parasha from memory. However, it's preferred not to do so in order to avoid mistakes. Okay. This that the Torah says, actually it's forbidden. There's a Gemara that says it's forbidden to say Tosh Bechtav Bal Peh. You have to read it mitoch haktav. But the poskim say that if it's a very common psukim and everybody knows them by heart, there's no mistakes, like Shema and V'afta, everybody knows very easily by heart, no problem to say it by heart. Okay, 35. Mikra should be read with cantillation notes. If you're familiar with them, you have to read it with ta'amim. V'daber Hashem el Moshe lemor. You have to read it with cantillation marks. Targum, however, it should be read without the tunes. Okay. 50. In footnote, the Sefer Hasidim says that the ta'amim of the Torah, the cantillation marks, are also Halacha Moshe Sinai. They were passed down from Moses at Sinai. It's part of the Torah. Many times, actually, Chazal is doresh from the ta'amim. For example, it says by Yosef Veit Ma'ameh, and there's shashedet over there. So they connect the two, and therefore there's a lot of the ta'amim gives us chidushim. Also, it's part of the Torah. And the Chazon Ovadia writes that someone who doesn't know the ta'amim, let's say you never were taught, you could still do the parasha even without ta'amim, but preferably you should do it. Okay. 36. When reading Aseret Dibrot in Parshat Yitro Vayet Hanan, you should read it with regular ta'amim, not ta'am elyon. Ta'am elyon is they read when it's Bal Koreh. But you read it itself, you read the regular ta'am, which is ta'am tachton. 37. After one finishes the parasha, the last pasuk should be repeated. That way you finish with Torah. So last pasuk, you read twice, then you read Targum. You have to go back and read the last pasuk again, Hebrew. That way you finish off with Torah. We don't want to finish off with Targum. Okay? Because it's respect for the Torah. 38. One who has Sefer Torah that he can read from and knows how to read from the Sefer Torah with the proper cantillation marks and punctuations, he should do Shnayim Mikra Targum from Sefer Torah. Even when reading from a Sefer Torah, you don't read a bracha and you can't take it out of the ark. You got to leave it in the ark, read it from the ark. Let's do 54. This is the name of the Arizal. Maran Haida says you should try to read from the same Sefer Torah they're going to read for Shabbat. So that way also if you'll catch if there's a mistake. Chazon Ovadia brings, Shulchan Yosef brings the name of Chazon Yosef, who says the one who's reading from a Sefer Torah for Shnayim Mikra Targum, he is allowed to remove the Torah from the Eichal in order to read it in the Bima. But Yalkut Yosef says it's better not to remove it from the Eichal. Okay, 39. Even if one is practicing the parasha in order to read it for the congregation for the upcoming Shabbat, or if one taught the parasha to someone, and in doing so he finished reading the parasha, it can be counted as reading the parasha for each time he read it, even though there was interruptions. Let's say bar mitzvah teacher. So he said the whole parasha to the boy, and that counts for Shnayim HaTargum. It's like he read it one time, now you only have to read it one more time. Or let's say he said it twice, so you already did it, now you only have to do Targum. 40. If one realized that he skipped the pasuk, it's better to go back to the skipped pasuk, reread the other psukim afterwards in the proper order. It's better to go in order, not to go back and jump back. You should go in order from where you've skipped. If you can't, so you can continue where you left off from. 41. If one forgot where you were reading, you did Shnayim Mikra Targum halfway, and you're like, I don't remember where I was. You should begin reading from the last point you remember reading from. 42. One who missed the entire parasha. Guy, what do we have? Toldot. You missed Hayei Sarah. Whatever reason he didn't read Hayei Sarah. So what does he do? You got to read Hayei Sarah before you read Toldot. If you already started Toldot, so you can finish Toldot, but you got to catch up. Don't let it fall behind. Even if one only read part of the Torah, Shnayim Mikra. Let's say Bal Teshuvah, right? It's very hard for him. It takes him 6 hours to do Shnayim Mikra. Miskin. So what does he do? He says, if I give 1 hour, I can read 2 aliyot. That's it. I can't do more than that. So at least you should do that. At least you should do 2 aliyot, and eventually you do 3, eventually you do the whole parasha. He should still make an effort as much as he can. You still get some of a mitzvah for doing it. 44. Even though generally we do not say Pasuk Shema Yisrael twice in a row, when Shnayim Mikra Targum, you're allowed to say it twice. 45. Strictly speaking, the Mikra must be read twice before reading Targum. If you read Targum by accident before the Pasuk, you're allowed to go back and read the Hebrew afterwards, even though you read Targum first. 46. Some people have a custom reading Shnayim Mikra Targum Haftarah. But from the letter of the law, it only needs to be read once without Targum. At least to read Haftarah, the custom is at least to read Haftarah one time before Shabbat. 47. One should try to use a Chumash that has Targum that brings the different Girsaot. There's some Targums that have in parentheses different Girsaot. It's proper to do that. That way you fulfill all the different possibilities. But if it's difficult to do that, you don't have to do that. 48. One who does not understand Targum should try his best to read Targum. One who finds this difficult should read the translations of the words instead. Art School makes Unculus with English. They even translate Unculus. So maybe you should use that if possible. The question is, let's say I don't like Unculus for whatever reason. It's because it's hard for me. Chas v'shalom, you love Unculus, but it's just difficult for you. Can I read translation in English instead? Shnayim Mikra v'chad translation. Can I do that? Or can I do Rashi? Shnayim Mikra v'chad Rashi. Can we do that? Yes. Someone who has a hard time reading the whole parasha Targum Unculus, he may read Rashi instead. Preferably, one should read Rashi together with the Targum. But when saying Rashi, you should try to say it out loud, not just think it. Okay? So let's read footnote 69. Shulchan Aruch says in Siman Resh Pei that even though it's not an obligation to read Rashi, one who does so is considered Yirei Shamayim, fear of heaven. He fears heaven. According to some opinions, it is better to read Rashi if you can't read Targum. Kaf HaChaim says also that it's better to read Targum instead of only reading Rashi, because many verses Rashi doesn't say anything on it. So what are you going to do then? And then Siyar Lichot Olam, who writes, it's better to just read Targum if you don't have enough time for Rashi also. Rabbi Tzion Abba Shaul says, if you don't have enough time to read the entire commentary of Rashi with Targum, you should read one aliyah of Rashi. That way, every 7 years, you finish every parasha with Rashi. It's very important to read Rashi in the Torah. You don't understand the Torah fully if you don't read Rashi. Rashi opens up so many ideas that we wouldn't understand otherwise, and you get the proper approach to Torah. A lot of words in the Torah you don't know what it means. You need the Torah Shabbal Peh, you need the oral Torah, and Rashi brings a lot of times the oral Torah there. Okay, 50 psukim that have no targum, you just read them a third time. Someone who wants to read the translation, he has what to rely on, but preferably you should read Targum. 51, name of Hashem should be read as saying Amo and then Nai, right? And not Hashem. You don't say Hashem, you say Hashem's name. 52, one who does not have a Chumash with Targum should say Parsha twice, and then when he gets a Chumash that's Targum, he'll say it later. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen, amen. All the best. See you guys. Everybody have a great day. Shabbat Shalom.